Good morning, everyone. Jan Fursdon here from Fursdon House. I have not fallen off the face of the earth. I have been working on something that was very dear to my heart, and it is massive. It's not so much a journal as it is a journal, keepsake book, and a toy box. And I say a toy box because inside are some of the most wonderful paper dolls, if you will, that I created, that they just came out wonderful, and I was so excited about it. Initially, I had planned to put it up for sale in my Etsy shop. It was going to be a lot smaller, and then it kept getting bigger, and then, as I said, I kept using my personal jewelry pieces and what have you, and I kept falling more and more in love with it, and finally I decided, that's it, this one's mine. So this one is not for sale, but having said that, I do have a couple of books, and this is from the book. It's called 100 Dresses. You can see that there. This is what I've used to literally take apart and recreate some of the fashion dresses and stuff. They're fabulous. It's amazing. And of course, this is the cover. But I do have enough books that I can, if you are interested, I can create one for sale. It would be smaller, much smaller, probably about half this size. And it wouldn't have naturally all of the same embellishments. It would have a lot of them, but a lot of the ones that I've used in this one are one of a kind. And, you know, it's jewelry that I've had, and I don't have any more of that. So if you're interested, just give me you can contact me at my my email address, and I'll put that below. But let's go ahead and get started because I'm excited about this. I've also tried to figure out how to pronounce the creators of these dresses, and keep in mind I am Southern, so even though it may sound slightly correct, it may also sound slightly incorrect because it has the Southern accent to it. What can I say? It is 7.5 inches across, 10.5 inches tall, and a whopping 5 inches deep. And there is the spine. It has 6 signatures. There we go. 6 signatures. It has 60 bound pages. And those bound pages, what I discovered was, because of the pieces that I've cut out were so tall, I had to use extra large paper, and that extra large paper was not overly thick. So what I did was take pages of the thicker paper, the larger paper that was thinner, and stitched them together with decorative stitches, and then also created a pocket. And inside each pocket of pages are 34 additional unbound sheets, and there are also 2 little small notebooks. And you can see that I've got some tabs here of some beautiful gold satin ribbon. I didn't want to get too fancy with that because I didn't want to detract from the dresses themselves. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a card, believe it. I found this card, and it says Le Mode Illustree, and that is a French fashion magazine that was around about the Victorian times. And I thought, well, it's perfect because it kind of shows you the evolution from one dress to another. And this dress is also recreated inside the book too, but this one is particularly amazing because this is one piece of cloth. It is uncut, one piece of cloth that has been wrapped and draped and swirled, but it is an uncut piece of cloth. And I thought, whoa, that is amazing. So, and I have to give my granddaughter credit, Isabel. She was the one who came up with the idea of putting this on kind of like a bustle, and you'll see some interesting bustles in here too, because these go back to like the 1790s, I believe. No, actually, there's one earlier than that. So here's the inside. We have a pocket here, and this is one of the unbound pages. And all of the unbound pages have the reverse done in this very mild, oh goodness, I've gone blank. It's been a while since I've done this, but it's a paper that's been dyed, and it's a digital kit from Tailor Made Journals. And I'll put the link for that below. But all of the pages, I'm just going to pull out the pages and let you see the outside decorations. They're from a variety of different places and digital kits and what have you. And this is part of a card. I had to cut it in half because the other half is on the back side. But that was from a sweet, sweet friend years and years ago that gave it to me as a birthday present. as a, you know, a birthday card. And I just fell in love with it. And so I thought, I'm saving it. I save things. I save cards, all kinds of stuff. So I was really happy to be able to use that. And so here you can see what I've done. I've taken jewelry findings and laces and all manner of things and put them inside the book. And let me just hold it up like that. These are glass beads, and this is metal trim. And this particular gown that it goes with is tobacco brown silk damask, and it's about circa 1735. And I've got a little bit of the trim here, and I'm hoping you can see that. Maybe I can raise it up, and you can see. I have to be careful because this is so large that it gets out of focus. And in here we have this is what I was talking about with the pages. They were thin, and I didn't want to just use them by themselves because these are thick cards. And what I did, I cut out each dress, if you will, and then I glued it onto cardstock and then cut that out again. Bit of a pain in the neck, but there it was. It's the way I wanted it because I wanted them nice and firm. But so I needed something that was a little bit stronger than just a thinner paper. So I've stitched them together, and you can see I've just used decorative stitches on the tops and bottoms. Left this side open, so again you can put in the paper that you want, and you know, you can write on the, isn't that beautiful? That's lovely. That's the only one that has that particular design. The others are in that lace, coffee dyed lace. But so even though it looks like it would be difficult to write in, it isn't, because you're going to pull these sheets out and write in. And I was just so excited about it. It was just fun. And there you can see the back side and some trim here. This particular dress is French, 1798. And not all of these I've cut out, but the majority are cut out. This is individual embroidery. And the embroidery changes so that you didn't have the effect of a pattern being followed. So it was just hand embroidered, and it was just, it's gorgeous. Here we have another one that is 1804. It's French. A little day dress, and all this white on white. You talk about difficult. I did some embroidery once, and it was black on black. And it's very difficult to see because you have no contrast to look at. And I imagine white on white is the same way. But if you look carefully, you can just see how amazing all that embroidery is. And all of this is hand done. It's like, whoa. Just some decorative stitching here. And so this is how the majority of the cutouts are done. So I put belly bands across, and I put jewelry findings. This used to be a little earring. And this particular piece, it's British, circa 1695. It's the earliest complete European costume that is known to be in existence. 1695, a complete costume, and it's in a museum. That's metal thread, metallic thread that has been embroidered, hand embroidered on all of the fabric. It's just amazing. So I told you it was a toy box. And it gets better. And then here's some more decorative paper. They're full sheets, and slides it in right there. This one is fabulous. And what was amazing when I was putting this together is that I kept finding bits and pieces that really worked with what the costumes looked like. This piece here is a piece that I had on just a piece of scrap material, and I thought it's perfect, so I stuck it on there. And because it was over 2 pages, I had to cut it, and you know, along the spine here. And it was not too, couldn't obviously take it out because of the 2 pieces. So I made her into a pocket. So this is another full sheet of paper to write on. And I've just put that in there, and she's just gorgeous. Can you imagine? But think of the width of this. The women, when they were, this is what I think I said, yeah, and it's called a robe à la Francaise. And it's a court dress, 1750, it's French. But when they were going through doorways, they literally had to turn sideways. So it's a huge exaggeration of a bustle. It's like, this is the panel. And then again, some beautiful paper. I'll put the links below for where I got those papers. They're a variety of places. And then here we have this one. My granddaughter also gave me an idea on what to do. I was having difficulty with it, and she came up with this little bit here. Again, that's a pen that used to belong to me. Well, it still belongs to me, but I used to wear a lot more jewelry when I was working before I retired. And this particular piece, 1780 to 85, robe a la polonaise, hand-painted Chinese silk. Now, if you look, I mean, it's amazing. Hand-painted Chinese silk, and it's cut in various places. It's just amazing. And that's why I love the book. I'm not into fashion at all, especially modern fashion. But I love detail. I love fabrics and textiles and things of that nature. And when I saw this book, I got it on sale, next to nothing. And I've had it for a couple of years, and I look at it, and I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to play with this. And that's exactly what I did. I've been playing with it. And then I purchased a couple of more because I like the idea of making others. This is a really neat dress. It's American, and it has interchangeable bodices. So this is 1855. It's organza, and it's either American or European. They weren't sure exactly where it came from. But you can see in this picture, make sure you can see that. This is for the daytime wear, so the shoulders are covered. You wouldn't show your shoulders in the daytime, heaven forbid. So it had this nice little jacket piece, different bodice and everything. And then for the evening wear, you had this lovely gown, and it just changed out from here to here. Just beautiful. And some more paper, decorative paper. The papers are like these, like this, are from historically, what is it called? Vintage wallpapers. And I thought that was really cool. And here we have just a little American day dress, if you will, 1902 to 1904. And it just has a, make sure you can see that, an applique here. It looks so sweet, just nice. And the thing about this fabric is that it was very lightweight. So you think of all the bustles and crinolines and this and that you had to wear underneath all this stuff, which, as you can see, I mean, look at this one. This one's, talk about an exaggerated bustle. This one at least went behind her. But these things had to have been extremely hot. This one's an evening dress, 1884 to 1886. It's either American or European. I put some little rosebuds on there, and another decorative sheet here. Figured that bustle needed to come in handy, so that's what it did. And let's see, here we have, make sure I'm still in, a decorative sheet here. And then this sweet little lady, this is called a walking dress, 1835. It's American. And I've just put some burgundy trim on the base. All of these are mannequins except for the one right here next to this one. And it was, this is what I had a lot of fun with the jewelry findings and stuff. So she has a little bit of bling on her wrist, and she has her necklace. And this one actually comes off. I thought that was kind of neat to be able to do that. So there she is. And the dress, the lady who's wearing it is Winifred Sprague Walker Prosser. That's a mouthful. This is considered an afternoon dress of white lace, and it is American, and from 1901. And this is the only one where it's actually the lady wearing it. The lady's daughter donated the pictures and the gown to a museum. And I thought that was really neat. Again, more decorative stitching on all of this. Additional sheets to write on. So yes, it's a little cumbersome, but as I said, I was the one who wanted it this large. I wanted it all in one piece because I'm going to display it on my bookshelves beside the actual book. And this is what I mean by some of the colors coming together, just things that I had already in, you know, just with me. I'd had some of them for ages. These little shell buttons, I put those on there. And this one is a spring summer dress, and it's by Jean Lanvin. Now that's the American pronunciation. The French pronunciation, if I don't slaughter it too bad, is Jean Levin. Jean Levin. And it was 1924. I've always called her Jean Lanvin, but, you know, American, what can I say? And I had this black velvet and some green velvet and decorative trim, and it was like, yes, it's perfect. This one, you'll all recognize the designer for this. This is Coco Chanel. Gabrielle Coco Chanel. Coco was her sort of a nickname. And I put 2 little glass hearts here and just put a glass heart up there. She was very innovative in that she came up with things that were comfortable to wear because of the women's suffrage movement. And we were doing more, we were working and so on and so forth. She was known for coming up with things that were much more comfortable to wear. She also came up with what's considered the little black dress, and she had a lot of different styles for that. This one's 1927, and it's called a day ensemble. Now you know. This was like a little sweater, and so it was just really neat finding the fabrics that matched, that are coordinated with it. And here's one of the little notebooks. Now this is just some lace that I've got on there, vintage. Just made a little notebook, and I used one of the pages that have not an index, but like a glossary showing you what is velvet, what is a waistcoat, what's a side drape, blah blah blah. And this dress is an evening gown in 1963. It's French. It's by Givenchy, and you can tell this is the up close, how heavily embroidered it is. Now, can you imagine what that thing would have weighed? I hate to think. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Beads are heavy, but that's the close-up of the dress. It's just amazing. Get you back in there. Here we have more by Coco Chanel, and again, these are just little. These were from an earring. They called them chandelier earrings. I always loved them. I didn't wear these very much, hardly ever, but I loved the look of them. And now I know why, because they were going to go on these little dresses. This one is an evening dress, 1938 to 39. And again, this was by Coco Chanel. Some of these, you know, they say that really good fashion is timeless. And it really is. I mean, you can see dresses further into the book that are, you know, 1980s, 1990s, 1950s. And some of them, this would fit in with any of them. And I've just done a little bit of black velvet here. And some trim, ribbon trim. And this one is also Coco Chanel, 1933 to 35. It's an evening dress, and it has ostrich feathers. And I've just put the little jewelry finding up here. I thought that was really neat. I cannot imagine stitching ostrich feathers, but hey, what do I know? So there's that one. It's just so much fun. Decorative page. Make sure I'm still in focus here. This one is my favorite. Well, there are like 3 of my favorites, but this one is one of them. I just adore this, and I've just made a belly band to sort of reflect what's here. And then I found a flower of this little silk flower that had the same colors in it. But this was a court dress. It's a presentation to court. It was to the St. James Court, and it was being presented to George V in June of 1928. It was worn by Mrs. George Henry O'Neill, and there were very specific court requirements for your dress. It had to have a detachable train, because you would be wearing the train to be presented to the king, and then you would remove the train later on for dancing or whatever. This one also had a headdress and a fan, but they didn't have pictures of that, which I was rather disappointed with that. But this is all ribbon embroidery, hand embroidered, just beautiful. And so there's the train. It does show that. And then you would remove the train. I love the uneven hem. So you can see how much fun I had doing this. It took a while, but it was worth it. It was just so much fun. These 3 ladies are, let's see, from 1855, and it's French. Some more decorative papers here. Here we have, isn't this beautiful? That was a Christmas ornament. It's all kind of puffy. And I have a couple of more. I've been saving them for very special things. And I thought, this is it. I get to use one finally. But these 3 dresses. Now, this to me looks so modern. But it's an evening gown from the 1920s. And it was Italian. Fortuny was the Mario Fortuny. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. So I just added the little bit here. And then we have this one. Again, a little jewelry finding here. This was 1913. And this was Paul Poiret, French. We would say Poiret or Poiret, but Poiret, I believe is how he pronounces it in French. Sweet, sweet, sweet. And this one, a male designer. I put the little leaves on here because I had fun with this. It was just so much fun. I kept coming out, oh, I got to go to the studio and play with it. Circa 1920s, it was Raymond Duncan. Now, his sister was Isadora Duncan, very famous dancer of the 20s, rather tragic end. You can look that up. But Raymond Duncan was a designer. And as a matter of fact, the whole family was special. Raymond's family was special. They would not let anyone come into their home who was not dressed in classic Greek clothing. You were not allowed to come into the home unless you were. So he designed this dress for his wife, one of many. And, yeah, he was special. This one of my favorites. I love the blue and the green together. I've just added the buttons down here, covered buttons, which I thought I would never use because I just usually don't use covered buttons, but I did. And then the little bow there with just putting it in the back, because there was a bow underneath, but you just couldn't really see it because it kind of blended in. And this one is a day dress. It's American, 1857, and it's silk plaid. And it just slides right in here. And then I found this beautiful braid here, deep blue braid, and it's like, yes, it's nice. Another decorative piece of paper there. So you can see what I mean when I say it's a toy box, because you can play in this and have so much fun. This one, a ball gown from 1861, 1862. It's American, and it is taffeta. And it actually had little bows. I thought there was a bit much as far as the design goes, but it had bows here, and I thought, I have bows. So I just created larger bows to kind of bring it out. It's just neat. What can I say? Yeah, I didn't play with paper dolls when I was young. We didn't have any, but anyway, what can I say? I'm making up for lost time. This is a 1880 wedding gown. All of this around here, pearls. Little tiny seed pearls that have been hand embroidered all over here. And I thought, oh my gosh, an amazing amount of work. And this one is an evening gown, early 1880s. It's British. This one was huge. It was like, and I hadn't figured out, I think this is one of the first ones that I created. And I hadn't figured out quite what to do with the larger pieces. So I thought, well, I'll just cut it in half and make it a pocket. So there's the pocket. Here's the top part. I've added lace along here and some lace there, which matched. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got lace that actually matches it. But this is robe à la Francaise. Francaise. I want to say Francais, but it's Francaise. 1760, 1770. It is French. And I love the colors in it, although I wasn't particularly wild about the way it had the splotches in it. I'm not wild about that, but I love this embroidery in here. And this this backing came from a gift bag, and it has that beautiful sheen to it. I'm hoping you can see it. So I cut up the bag. It was just a gift bag I've had for about a year. This, I'm going to put this aside for now. I'm going to show you it later, but it's amazing what it goes to. And then we turn this. This is just some cardstock that I just wanted to put in about the Victorian era. This one was fun. a promenade dress, American, 1862 to 64, white cotton piqué. And again, you were looking for things that were lighter weight. You can imagine wearing that. Let's see, it doesn't say winter or spring or anything, but it's, regardless, it's going to be heavy. So I had a little bit of tongue-in-cheek here. I did the black and white on there. It's like, what can I say? I like the black and white. I forget now what it's called. I know what it's called, but can I think of it now? Of course not. And there's decorative paper. Come on, get in there. Here we have, isn't she pretty? Jewelry findings here that I've added to it. You can see why I wanted to reinforce it with cardstock, because a lot of these are very fine cut. I'd use a craft knife in a lot of areas. This one's called a visiting dress, American, 1895. Just some pretty buttons I had. This one, I had fun with this one. This is an evening ensemble by Christian Lacroix, 1987, 1988, and it was called his Poof Silhouette Dress. And you can see it's a poof. A poof, a poof, a poof, a poof. Lots of poofs. To me, it looked kind of, not childish, but just not quite as mature. I mean, obviously, I would think a younger woman would wear this. So I thought, you know what'd be fun is just little stars. So I had little stars. So I put those in there. And then I got a little carried away. This is one of the reasons why it is so thick. That's a black velvet bow that I created. And then this is a vintage jewelry piece. And it just brought out the silver and the blue of the little stars. So I thought that would be really neat. And again, there's some more decorative paper here. Oh, there's 2 sheets in there of that one. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. So there's another sheet. I had them printed, and I thought, just go ahead and put them in. This one likes to catch. This particular dress, yeah, earrings. But I thought, oh, it's just so neat and swingy and stuff. This is Cristobal Balenciaga. Balenciaga. I had to work on that one. Cristobal Balenciaga. French, 1965. Evening dress. Now you could wear that now easily. And you could even create the trim. And this piece that I put on the black velvet, I bought it years ago at a junk shop, or at a junk shop. And I believe what it is an old piece that would go on a shoe. And I've had it for ages, and I thought, I'm going to use it. And that's what I used it in. I've tried it out on many things, and it never seemed to work, but it seemed to work well on that. And this one was one of my favorites. This is one of the first ones I did, and I was so excited. All of this is embroidery, hand embroidered. No patterns being followed. There's some ribbon embroidery of the flowers. But oddly enough, they had put a white leather belt across here, and I thought, yuck. So, you know, artistic license. So I thought, well, you've got these grasses and what have you, need leaves. So I had my leaf ribbon trim. I literally cut the leaves off of the trim. You can see it down here, how I've cut it off. And then I had a little strip, and I just sort of glued it down, and it was just fun. It's so pretty. And this one, 1953, Christian Dior. It's called a May ball gown. Hand embroidered. Just beautiful. And I had this trim that went right along with it. And the pinks and the greens. Those are my favorite colors, pinks and greens combined. So it just worked out really cool. And another decorative page here. Here we have, some of them you have to take out on the top, some on the bottom. This is an evening dress, 1939. Jean Lanvin or Jean Lanvin, French, gray silk taffeta. And it had a pocket here that was heavily embroidered, like the the bodice up here with a lot of sequins and bits. And I thought, okay, perfect. We'll just put the little, I think that was an earring, an old vintage earring piece that I had found. But again, this is what, 1939. You could wear something like that today very easily. And I just made black velvet and with the cream trim. This one, another of my jewelry pieces. I thought, perfect. Evening on some Emmanuel Ungaro, French, 1990 to 1992. But when I look at that, it automatically reminds me of the 1940s. There we go. And again, sheet of paper to write on. Because the more I started doing this, I thought, well, I don't know if I will write on all the pages or not. I mean, I've made notes on some of them, but I'm not sure I'd write on it. Who knows? Here we have beautiful evening gown, 1947. Jacques Fat, French. Spelled F-A-T-H, but the pronunciation came in as Fat. Put the little pearls up there. I just thought that kind of reflected the corset style here. This one came out. Yes, it looks strange. Pleated polyester. So we're 1994, 1995, and the artist, let's see, what is her name? Japanese, Issey Miyake. Issey Miyake. And I think I said it was Japanese. She had created this, and I thought, it reminds me of sort of like a dragon lady. What can I say? But it ended up kind of coming in rather sweet because I had this long piece here. I tried all these different kinds of jewelry pieces on it, and nothing was looking right. And then at the last minute, I found this, and it was a long piece, so I actually did more here. Whoops, what's that? Bit of stuff. But, so I thought it worked out really well. But she does remind me of, no, not Dragon Lady. It was Crocodile Lady. Yeah, crocodiles. I think they're the ones with the things. Anyway, you know what I mean. More paper. Here's a fun one. Little butterfly that I've had for ages and ages. Get some stuff there. This one is one of Coco Chanel's little black dresses. It's black vinyl and polyester. So there's the vinyl, I believe, and then the polyester pleats and what have you. Not exactly what I would usually make something out of, but fall winter 1987-88, House of Chanel. The actual designer was Karl Lagerfeld, French, but he worked, I think, I'm not sure if he's still alive or not, but he worked with the House of Chanel.